my body guessing and progressing. They definitely need to come down and talk to someone down here and find out more about the program, because I know it sure worked for me. And I was one of those that thought I knew everything I needed to know about fitness, and I could do it all on my own, and learn that no, there's a lot more I needed to learn. And really, the biggest part for me was that weekly accountability of coming in, knowing you were getting your body fat tested. It not only kept you motivated because you didn't want to have a bad result, but then when you had good results, it helped give you energy and motivation for the next week to stick to the diet and to keep working out hard.
Now let's talk about females for just a second. With a female, am I going to want to put on 13 pounds of muscle in 12 weeks? What do you girls think? Probably not, right? Most women would be pretty mad at me if I put 13 pounds of muscle on them, but the same concept applies, right? Because I at least want to make sure that I'm maintaining the muscle, right? And possibly building a couple pounds of lean body mass. What are some of the benefits of increased lean body mass? Okay, we talked about faster metabolism, stronger, faster. Let's talk about the difference in the way these two people look. Now, they both weigh exactly 170 pounds, but which one looks better? Yeah. I mean, this guy, 170 pounds, 10% body fat. If you can picture this with me, this guy probably has a little bit of ab definition. He's put on 13 pounds of muscle, so he has bigger arms, chest, shoulders. He looks phenomenal. Now, this guy's 170 pounds as well, but he looks a lot different, doesn't he? So yeah, this is what we want to see happen. Now, I want to go back to this for just a second, okay? I want to dive into this a little bit deeper so you guys can see what's happening here. Let's take a second and talk about Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones has been 200 pounds for a really long time, hasn't he? In fact, he hasn't been 170 pounds since like high school. So picture this with me. This guy goes from 200 pounds to as little as 170 pounds in as fast as 8 weeks. I mean, that's incredible, isn't it? What do you think his friends are telling him? You look great. You look good, Mr. Jones. What did you do? Well, whatever you did, it worked great. So when he gains the weight back, does he see any problem with the way that he originally lost weight? He doesn't, does he? What is he thinking in his head? Yeah, it worked good while I did it. It's my fault because I stopped doing it. So what does he go and do all over again? The same thing. And that's where you get that yo-yo effect, the whole lose weight, gain it back, lose weight, gain it back. And every time we do this yo-yo in our diet, our metabolism runs even slower. Okay? Now, I talked to you about one of the reasons this happens so frequently is from improper dieting techniques. Let's take a second and talk about those improper dieting techniques so you guys can see what's happening here. I've found when I do these group discussions that it's pretty safe to assume that we've all been on a diet, right, at one point or another in our life, and I don't know what you did. I don't know if you did Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers or Atkins diet, low carb diet, Body for Life, you name it. I don't know what you did, or maybe you didn't do any of that stuff. You know, maybe you just put yourself on your own diet and reduced your calories. Whatever you did, though, you reduced your calories, because what's the one thing we know about weight loss? If we want to lose weight, we got to what? We got to eat less. Okay, so you drop your calories, and sure enough, you're losing weight. A couple weeks into it, when you're not losing weight anymore, you know, you hit your plateau or whatever, but the weight's not dropping on the scale. What do you automatically assume in your head? Eating too much. I must be eating too much. So what do? Drop your calories. Sure enough, you're losing weight again. A couple weeks into it, you're not losing weight anymore. What do you do to your calories again? Drop them. Okay, follow me for a second. If your calories over the course of an 8-week program, in order for you to continue to lose weight, need to keep going down and down and down, doesn't it make sense to say that your metabolism is just running slower and slower and slower? Follow me. If your metabolism is running slower and slower and slower, doesn't it make sense to say you're just becoming more and more likely to what? Gain the weight right back. That's absolutely right. Okay, so what I want you to get from this example is that simply just eating less is not the key. It's not the key by itself. It's one of several keys. Unless we're paying attention to all the keys, we're never going to be able to get you all the way to your goal, and we're never going to be able to stay there. Now, these essential keys to fitness that I'm talking about are called the 5 components of fitness. So if you want to flip through your information packets for me to the page that talks about the 5 components of fitness, and I'm going to list them out for you real fast. Number 1 is nutrition, then cardio exercise, supplementation, resistance training, and professional assistance. The reason that these 5 components are so important is because if ever you're not getting to your goal, the reason why you're not getting to your goal could be found within one of those 5 things. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let's say you're eating right, but you're not working out right. Can't that limit your results? Well, say you're working out right, but you're not eating right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make sure we have a balance of all 5, and that whole concept sounds simple enough, but when you think about it, how often do people do that? How often do people have a balanced program of all 5 components? Almost never, okay? How are a lot of weight loss centers marketed? How are a lot of weight loss programs marketed? Tell me if you've ever heard this one. No strenuous exercise. Have you heard this? Oh, well, we're genius, aren't we? Now we've got all these dieters out there literally starving themselves, but are they working out or doing anything in the gym? No, because in their heads, they shouldn't have to. Why? They're eating so good. They shouldn't have to, okay? Well, then I go into the gym, and now what's the gym buff mentality? And this isn't any better. Well, I work out hard every day, so I shouldn't have to what? Shouldn't have to diet. Rick, I know I'm not supposed to be eating pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but hey, I'm working out every day, so it shouldn't matter. I like to pick on what I call the aerobics queens. I don't know if anyone in here is guilty of that, but the aerobics queen that would never miss her favorite aerobics class, her cycling class, her kickboxing class, her body pump class, whatever. But is she going to go in the gym and pick up those heavy dumbbells and start pushing those weights around? No way, right? She shouldn't have to. Okay, so it's very rare that you get a balance of all 5 things. Even when you take a look at supplementation, you know, how are a lot of supplements marketed? Have you ever heard this one? You know, I got this magic pill, and if you take this magic pill, you're not going to have to diet, you're not going to have to exercise, it's going to increase your metabolism, and it's going to suck all the fat off this one spot right here, and you're not going to have to do anything else.
I've had 3 children and gained weight with each successive pregnancy, and I tried for 2-3 years to lose the weight from my youngest, and my mom, who was about 63, came to Rick. She spent 12 weeks. She lost about 20 pounds, and she had no metabolism when she started. She'd never exercised, knew nothing about nutrition, and it was amazing to watch her at that age, pick up all the tips and the diet and the exercise and lose the weight. And I thought, I'll just follow her diets, and it didn't work because it's all individualized. So I decided a year later, where I was weighing the same as when she started, to call Rick, and it took about 12 weeks, and I lost 40 pounds to begin with, and then I did another session, and I lost another 15. I've lost about 55 pounds total, and smaller than I have ever been, smaller than I was before the first child, and better muscle form. The most exciting thing is that it worked from the first week, and every week you'd see results, and that would motivate you for the next week. Went from a size like 16 to like 2.
Now that we understand we need a balance of all 5, what I want to do is I want to go take the time that we have left to go through each one of those 5 components and give you good, helpful information that you can start to utilize and gear towards fat loss, okay? Starting with nutrition. Now, nutrition is a subject that there's a lot of argument over, isn't there? A lot of controversy. What's the right diet? What's the wrong diet? It's been estimated that there's thousands of different diets on the market. Okay? The reason that there's so many different diets, to put it as simply as possible, is because there's so many different body types. I mean, we keep making the same mistake, don't we? We keep trying to create this one magical diet, create this one set of rules that are supposedly going to work for everybody, and that's never going to work because everybody's bodies are different. Everyone requires different guidelines. There's 3 rules on nutrition that I'm going to teach you real fast that are going to teach you how to decide what kind of diet is going to work best for you. Now, these 3 rules that I'm going to present to you are solid science, okay? Rule number 1, you need to eat at least 5 times per day. Now, how many have heard that rule before? Hopefully most of you, right? This rule is a little bit more well-known now than it was 5 or 10 years ago. Actually, the rule is you want to be eating every 2 to 3 hours. So depending on what your schedule is like, that's going to weigh out.